Welcome to the Success Fitness Podcast. I am your host, Christian Evans. This podcast is for adults who want to achieve success in their fitness journey. And our special guest today, Jalin Ford, will help us do just that by sharing his story, how after weighing in at over 300 pounds, reading a book taught him patience to get over his all or nothing mindset, which led him to begin intermittent fasting that helped him to lose 100 pounds. Without further ado, Success Fitness family, please welcome Jalin Ford to the podcast. How you doing, Jalin?
I'm good. I appreciate you for having me on.
Man, no problem. So quick story about me and Jalin is that we're both from Peoria, in Peoria. And I've been seeing this guy in the gym for maybe past, I would say probably about a year or so. And then maybe probably about 4 to 6 months, I've just been seeing him shrink. And I'm like, you know what? This guy's been doing something. You know, he's in there constantly working, constantly putting the time in. And I just spoke, one day because I'm always somebody's cheerleader because I can always, see when somebody is, progressing. And we got to talking, and long story short, here we are. So I'll let Jalin introduce himself as far as where he's from, and what motivated him to start his fitness journey.
So my name is Jalin Ford. I'm 30 years old. I'm from Peoria. So what motivated me to start this journey is the diabetes diagnosis. I had always kind of, you lose some, gain it back, lose some. I had always kind of, been in that type of thing. I was always a heavier kid. This has been going on for years. But when I got that, I knew it was time to be serious about it and make a major change,
Yeah. So what year was this in regards to the diabetes diagnosis?
The pandemic, 2020.
Okay.
Right? It was like a week after my birthday. My birthday, June 8th. So it was like the 16th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we were going through a lot in 2020. So walk me through what that doctor's visit was like. Was it scheduled, or were you not feeling good prior to going in there?
Right. I went to the hospital. I just wasn't feeling good.
Get out of here. What were some of your symptoms?
Couldn't stop sleeping. That was one. At that point, it might sound crazy, but I just couldn't get a clear thought. It was like a million thoughts running through my head at once. I couldn't think clearly. It was like mental fog. Very thirsty. That's how I knew. I was like, I'm too thirsty. Constant urination. I'm like, yeah, something ain't right. Yeah, and I was kind of already thinking that because my dad had it, and I seen some of his symptoms. My grandpa too. So I was like, yeah, I think I might have crossed that line.
Okay. And have you seen, like you said, your father and you said your grandfather had it,
right?
And that was probably always kind of like in the back of your head. But when you're young, you're like, oh, that won't happen to me. But as you get older, you start thinking a little different, especially, during the pandemic. So did you see, well, obviously you probably did, but see them, like, how did they handle it? I think that's what I'm asking it. Like, how did you see them handle it, or what were, some of the things that you have, like similarities, or what was that? How did that look like?
I noticed with the older generation, they just stuck in their ways. They like whatever, they gonna ride it out. They gonna ride it out.
Yeah, you're right. And then sometimes we find out at the last second. It's like, how come you didn't tell me that? That's kind of how I felt like with my when I went to the hospital. I was like 26 when my mother passed. So probably about like 23. Appreciate it. When I was diagnosed with high blood pressure, I got admitted to the hospital. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what is this? And then my mom was like, yeah, I got it. And I'm like, why didn't you say nothing? But I don't even know now, even looking at it, like, what would I have done if she did tell me? I'd probably just blew it off like a young person, like, that's your problem, not mine. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So walk me through that day. So you weren't feeling good. How long were you feeling good? Was it like for a day, couple days, a week, a month?
Right. This had been going on for probably like a week. And what's funny is I'm like, I don't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So I just took a couple of days. I said, I'm not going to eat crazy. And I started feeling better. So I was like, maybe I was just sick or something. But then, get back into my routine. I start feeling sick again. That's when I'm like, yeah, something's not right.
Something's
definitely not right.
So what type of foods were you eating like prior prior to that?
I am a sugar addict. I am
Oh,
a
you and me both. You and me
yeah.
both. Yeah. That's
I'm
the
a
number one
sugar
drug in America. That's the
for
number
sure,
one
for
drug
sure. Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
world. In the world, yeah,
Yes,
sugar.
absolutely, absolutely. Like, I'm not one of those people that can do portion control, so I just don't bring it in the house no more.
Yeah.
Like,
All
there's
out.
no way if I know it's a bag of chips there, I'm going to eat the bag. I'm not going to eat 5 chips,
Yeah.
6 chips.
It has to
I'm
be
eat the bag.
gone. Yeah. That
Correct,
has to
exactly. So I just
be
don't even bring it in the house no more.
right,
Some
right,
people can
right.
do that, and I think that's real good on them, but that doesn't work for me.
Yep. And you gotta know yourself. You gotta
Correct.
know
That's
yourself
the
and
that's the
don't try to
one.
play
That's the
with
one.
it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, let me
Right.
still bring it in and let me see if I can discipline myself.
Right.
And it's
And
like,
then
you
you'll
know
be
what?
right. Right.
We've gone through that and we know enough about ourselves
Correct.
to be like, you know what? I
Exactly.
know I'm
Exactly.
not going to do good with that, and that's okay because at least you
Right.
know. At least you
Exactly.
know. And so you
Exactly.
were heavily sugar as far as like sweets. So what was your thing as far as sweets? Was it candy? Was it
Don't
cakes?
candy and donuts. Candy and
Okay.
donuts for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Donuts from where? Where did you like yours from?
Walmart. Walmart actually has the best donuts. It
Yeah.
might sound
Okay.
crazy, but I've never been a big like sugar drinker though. Like soda, I don't struggle with that or anything. It got to be
I
something
got you.
solid. It has to be,
I
something
got
solid
you.
tonight.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, donuts, they'll get to you. So you've been eating that. It's the pandemic going on. It's already, paranoia just going on. So I can only imagine what was going
Correct.
through your head
We all just
at the
sitting at home,
yeah,
just sitting at home.
yeah. You're at home. And then you start not feeling good. And it's like, man, is this COVID? Am I about to go? You know what I mean? I'm about to check out of here because, top of 2020
Actually,
or just
right,
midway into 2020,
right, right.
June, you're like, all right, what's going on? You really don't know. We really don't know. It's
Right.
2023 now. We got more information now, but in the midst of that, like we all didn't know what was going on. But you end up going to the doctor. And what was that visit like? Like when you sat in there and
Yeah, they asked me. It was nighttime. I went the whole day, and I'm like,
okay,
I was just about to go to sleep, and I'm like, no, I need to go.
Okay.
So when I went in there, they asked a few questions, took my blood sugar, and said, "That's actually no." They took my urine 1st. They're like, "Yeah, you got ketones in your urine. That's not good." And then they took the blood sugar, and I was like, "Yeah, that's very high."
Okay.
And then I ended up staying. I probably stayed in the hospital for like 4 or 5 days, just from
Really?
me telling them I didn't feel good. They was like, "Yeah, you're very sick."
Okay, so you got admitted. So you got admitted to the hospital.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So what was going through your head while you were admitted? Like, what was?
I was so sick. I slept for like 2 days straight. Like the only time I was that sick. The only time I was waking up was when they was waking me up to constantly check my sugar. My
fingers don't they kind of irritate you? You're trying to sleep and they constantly wake you up in the middle of the night.
Every time I would wake up, right, constantly through the night, I felt like I was finna puke. Like I was sick for like 2 days. I just slept. And then after that, I started feeling better.
Okay.
But this one specific moment, I was laying in there and I heard the nurses outside talking, and I hear one of them say, "Oh, he's really sick. Like he has diabetes." Like, oh my God. And it was very embarrassing, actually. I was like,
yeah.
I ain't going out like this. Like I'm too young for this. I can hear them talking, but I don't know if they know that I heard. I'm just like, yeah, that's embarrassing. It's like I got
you. Yeah. And it's sometimes you wonder why you hear certain things, and obviously you took action for it, and then looking back at it, it was like kind of a weird motivation. Like, man, they're just talking about my business out there, but then
just in the open, exactly.
Yeah. Kind of, in the hindsight of 2020, you can look at it from multiple different perspectives. But I remember being in the hospital bed. I think I was in there probably about the same amount of time, 3 or 4 days. Every time I was getting ready to go to sleep, they're waking me up, prodding me, blood pressure, medicine and everything like that. Granted, of the severity of the situation, because I went in with a huge headache. Like even these lights that I got on right now, you know what I mean?
My brother struggled with it, so I know what you mean. I know exactly.
Yeah, man. Like it was like the sunlight. The sunlight was getting me. I mean, I had the shades on. I was in the backseat of the car. You thought I was being chased by the paparazzi and trying to dodge him. It was like I had a huge headache. But yeah, I do remember going to the hospital for that. And I'm thinking like, I don't even know if I was thinking about, is this it? Because, again, young, thinking that, I'll recover from this. This is nothing. This is nothing. Not really grasping the severity of it. So being that you said your father and your grandfather had it, did you then grasp the severity or the gravity of the diabetes or the situation, or how did you process that?
Yeah, I did, but I had it in my mind that I wasn't taking insulin. I already had that in my mind, not poking myself. And I told them that, and they didn't agree, but I knew I wasn't,
I
I
got
knew
you.
I wasn't. And yeah, I knew that was an option for me. Once you start with the medicines and stuff, you basically giving up, in my opinion. Like if you
I
don't
got you.
try to at least do it naturally, to me, you giving up.
Man, that's deep. I've never heard anybody say it like that. It makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense, far as from that standpoint. But I said that because we live in this highly medicated society to where
Correct. Right.
people will look
Right.
at you crazy if you're
Right.
like, no, I can fix that if I drink some carrot
Right.
juice. You know what I mean? Or a day or two
Right.
versus an aspirin 2 times a day for 3 days.
Right.
They're looking at
Right.
you like you're crazy. But yeah. So what made you take that approach as far as from there and saying that, hey, I'm not priding myself with insulin?
I actually don't, believe it or not, with all these tattoos, I do not like needles. I don't.
I got you.
And I know that every medicine come with its own set of problems, side effects.
Right.
It might help you here, but it's gonna hurt you there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I kind of already knew what I needed to do, because before the lockdown, I had signed up for the gym, but then we went into lockdown, so I never even got to start.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the crazy thing. So I kind of already had my mind made up what I was going to do. And I knew that if I did it right, I wouldn't need medicine. I never took it.
I got
The doctor
you.
was
I
like,
got you.
when I started going to the doctor, it was just like, hey, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. It works. So
I got you. I got you. So you weighed in at 300 pounds. Did you get that at the doctor? Well, 307. Was that the weight that you saw? Did they weigh you that day when you were getting admitted, as far as for all that? And
I can't remember my weight when I got admitted.
I got you.
That weight that I sent you is from 2019.
Okay.
I just came home from Vegas, and I couldn't fit a lot of clothes out there, and I hadn't stepped on the scale in a while. And when you haven't stepped on the scale in a while, you be thinking, oh, maybe I'm
it ain't that bad.
280 or something. When it's at 307, you see, it's like the same weight like 3 times. I had to like redo it. I'm like, let me change these batteries.
Yeah. You step shocked, off, wipe the scale down, walk around in a circle, wait to pee or something like that. Like you said, change the batteries. And it's like, no.
That was the highest weight I ever seen. I was shocked.
I got you. So that Vegas trip in 2019, what was that? What, like November, December, or was that kind of?
That was for my birthday, June 2019.
Okay.
So yeah, everything's happening like around my birthday. Yeah.
I got you. Okay, I see what you're saying. So you weighed in over 300 pounds from the Vegas trip, and then the following year, we got COVID 2020. Got admitted to the hospital, and then it's like, okay, you must have had a plan. Go ahead.
I didn't even catch COVID until this year, coming back from the Dominican Republic for my birthday.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I went 3 years without getting it and caught it this year after my
birthday. Jeez. Well, glad you're still here. Yeah. But so you get admitted to the hospital, 3 or 4 days, 4 days, and then when you got out, what was your mindset then?
Well, I was real frustrated because I was so sick that they told me it was type 1, which is, when you type 1, your pancreas is just finished with you. You're done. Like you will be on insulin.
Okay, so what's the difference between type 1 and type 2?
Type 1 is your pancreas is just don't make no insulin. So you kind of do have to take insulin. That's a totally different disease. Type 2, you just very insulin resistant. You didn't just did so much sugar. Your body's like, I'm ignoring that. I'm not dealing with it. So you kind of the sugar just spill over into the blood. That's when you start seeing the sugar in the urine, and the sweet smelling urine and the constant urine, because your body's trying to flush the sugar out. So type 2 is too much insulin. Type 1, you just don't make enough. So
I got you.
Yeah, that's how sick I was that they thought I had type 1 instead of type 2.
Okay, so you had type 2 was your diagnosis?
Right. Okay. After a few days, when you leave the hospital, they say follow up with your doctor. So when I followed up with my doctor, she was like, oh, they switched it. You're actually type 2. Okay. So I was like, oh, okay. So I immediately started low carb, like immediately. That was my first step. And it actually was very beneficial for me. I thought it was a cheat code.
I got you. So how did you get to that point? Because some people walk out and be like, I'm going to still go back to my same lifestyle, maybe after a week or two, a month or whatever.
Right.
what made you say, all right, low carb? How did you come across that?
YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube.
Okay.
And when I went to
Okay.
my first diabetes appointment, I was the youngest person in there. You see old people, they leg gone. I was like, oh no, this shit's embarrassing. I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. That was
Yeah.
like, this ain't for
Yeah.
me.
That
You
was
got
a
people
wake
in
up
there.
call. That was
Yeah,
scary
you
for
got
you.
people in there with the black glasses. They blind.
Oh man.
I was like, yeah, that's not right.
Yeah. 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 That was just serene, probably just not even so serene, but just surreal. That's what I meant to say. Surreal,
Mm-hmm.
because even when you're describing it to me, I can see that, walking in and then you're
Right.
like, okay, homie
Right.
got his, he got both his legs off. And you know what I
Right.
mean? Or like you
Right.
said, you rocking the Ray-Bans and it's like
Right.
all this from donuts, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
More or less.
Correct.
And it's like, is it
Correct.
worth it? Is it worth
Right.
it? So you're at the doctor's appointment as far as your first one, and then what was that like? And then that led you to do the as far as the low carb, or how did that go?
Yeah, so we just talked. That's my initial appointment, and he kept me on insulin. He didn't want to. I wasn't taking it, but he didn't change anything, and he just told me to come back in 3 months. So within
Okay.
that 3 months, I had completely reversed diabetes. When I came back, I
Wow.
was in 3 months. He was shocked. I had just reversed it. It's actually a very easy. It got a glass jaw. You just got to do what you got to do.
I got you. I got you. I
I
got you.
reversed it in 3 months.
Okay. 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 So you left the doctor's appointment and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna get on YouTube, try to figure all this stuff out. Did you have any prior knowledge to possibly combating it or trying to combat it,
No,
being that
no.
okay, so you just was like, all right, this is a new day.
Right.
I ain't taking no insulin. I'm not about
Right.
to be blind and no legs around this
Right.
joint. So let me do what I got to do. So you buckle down. What did you come across? What were some of the videos or the articles or even books that you came across that made sense to you?
It was actually only surface level stuff. The exercise more, cut out the sugar. Just the basic stuff that we should be doing anyway.
Right.
Nothing in depth. I didn't get in depth until I found a book. When I found a book, that's when everything started making sense.
Okay.
But
And the book is called what and by who now?
It's right here. I got it right here. I'm actually giving this away before the people. Like if I see somebody, I try to give it to them because
really,
if you're diabetic, you have to read this. It's like essential.
Okay. Okay.
My doctor
Okay.
was surprised when I told him I read it. He said, "I wish all my patients would read it." I tell them they don't do it.
Yeah, and you picked that up kind of like on your own, just browsing stuff and just
No,
looking.
I think somebody had. I think I found the doctor's YouTube and he was talking about his book. And I'm like, let me buy his book. It just was like, let me see what he's talking about.
Man, the times we're living in now. Like you said, with our parents or older generation, they just stuck in their ways.
Exactly.
And just thinking about it right now in real time, I'm not really sure if they felt they could get any help outside of the doctors, but now new generation, and it's like, man, I'll just YouTube it. You know what I mean? It's got to be something. It's got to be something. So yeah, that just made me think about that. You know what I'm saying? Just right now, because you do make a great point. And me and my cousin, we talk all the time about just, we were kids, now we're older. And now that who was older when we were younger are older now. You know what I mean? Like, they still have that same gap and just generational things. And like you said, you made a very, very good point. What were some of the highlights of that book that stuck out to you that now is pretty much like, that's your guide, that's your compass now? What were some of the key points that you can just...
The biggest point he was making is that once you become diabetic, your body doesn't work the same as everybody else's. Mm-hmm. That's just the biggest fact of the situation. You have to stop with the carbs. Like, I know a lot of people live by carbs. They say you're going to pass out during your workout or you won't have energy. You can't do it no more. It just is what it is. You overdid it. You're paying for it.
Right.
But he made a lot of good points. But one point that always sticks out to me, and I think he said this on YouTube, you never saw anybody get fat from eating too many veggies or too much meat. You never heard people say, I got fat from eating chicken breast. It's always the carbs. That's just the truth. It's always the sugar. It's always the stuff that make you want to go to sleep. So
yeah. That's a very good point.
I never will forget that. And then just how to burn sugar, like when you start testing your blood sugar, you learn a lot about your body. He was saying that every diabetic has a fatty liver, which I know a lot of people never heard of that. And he said, if you don't think you do, check your blood sugar in the morning. I bet it's abnormally high. I started checking. I'm like, he's right. As soon as I started fasting, came down. I was like, he was right, you know?
And what was that time frame when you started seeing that decrease in far as what was high in your blood sugar levels to where you're like, okay, something I'm doing is working?
It was fighting. It was fighting. It probably took me like 3 or 4 months.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good time. Yeah. Like you said, consistently doing it. Cause nowadays we live in this instant gratification society that if we don't get the result right then and there, we quit.
Right.
And it's like, oh, it's been 24 hours. I ain't lost 10 pounds. You know what I mean? I ate a salad today. I haven't lost any weight. So in regards to far as like the fatty liver, cause I always hear or associate fatty liver
with liquor.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So yeah, you bring up a good point in far as in that. So you went low carb. What's low carb to you? Because nowadays we live in this
I'm not
different
extreme.
Variations. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I added natural carbs back in, like sweet potato, much later. Okay. Like I still eat sweet potato and like almonds and stuff like that, but all the bread and stuff I don't bring that in my house. What was your question again? I'm sorry. What was
what did low carb look like for like your average diet, what you were doing?
Just meat and vegetables. I eat as many veggies I can think of. I want carrots, broccoli, spinach, kale, mushrooms, tomatoes, whatever. I eat all that. It ain't no limit on that. And just eat that with the meat and I'm fine. Avocado, I still have that. I just, again, you ain't gonna see no white rice, no brown rice, no bagels, no none of that. But I still, it's really a normal meal if you think about it.
Yeah, for sure. We've just been so used to, let's say, over portioned, with everything that is normal now. Right. How did you like to prepare your food as far as like you like to grill, air fry, bake?
I love the grill. Okay. I hate the air fryer. Air fryer.
Okay. Okay, you know what? I want to ask you about that too, because I did see on your IG stories you were grilling. I think it was either some chicken or something. A couple weeks ago. Tell me about your air fryer, and I see where we have similarities.
I don't like it. It just don't taste. I don't know what it is. I just can't get into it.
It's not in comparison to the oven. For me, it doesn't. The meat isn't as tender. You know what I mean? That's what I found out for me, because I cook a lot of chicken, chicken thighs precisely.
I love chicken thighs.
Yeah, chicken thighs, but like when you do them in the oven and then you put them in the air fryer, I just noticed that the air fryer, the meat is just like tight. You know what I mean? It's not as, because it's like it's dark meat. How can this now almost have the similar texture as almost like white meat? And I've tried all types of temperatures before anybody gets in the comment section. If you got it too hot, trust me, I'll read the directions. I've been cooking for the last 20, 25 years.
Yeah, I see you all the time.
You understand what I'm saying? And it's okay if it doesn't, do it, just as an oven. I can just say this. I just prefer to cook mine, in the oven. We got a lot of, quick cooks out here probably listening to the podcast or just watching, or just you see them on Instagram or Facebook, social media. The air fryer is cool, but in comparison, in my experience, in comparison to the oven, it doesn't match up. I thought it did. I thought it would make things more convenient, but it can be used in a pinch. If that's the case, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like, if I'm gonna take my time with it, like I asked you, how do you like to prepare? Grill. What is your favorite thing to grill? What is your favorite meat to grill?
Salmon.
Okay.
I'm actually a simple cook. Like if something got too many steps, I ain't doing it. I know you like to cook. I actually hate it so much. Like if it got too many steps, I'm cool. Like I'll be like, I'm sorry, I'm good.
I got you. Because even firing that grill up, so you got a charcoal or gas grill?
No, that's gas.
Okay, gas. Yeah. I've done the charcoal, and man, I've probably converted more into gas last 2 years. I'm like, all I got to do is just turn this switch up.
Yeah, exactly. They say it ain't that good for you neither. I don't know how true it is. But.
Yeah, it ain't the same like it was probably maybe about 8 years ago. It's like you got to use more now. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? They started cheaping stuff out, but you already know how that goes. So when you were on your new weight loss journey and you dropped, let's say, your first 20. When did that come and how did that make you feel?
Oh, I was happy. I was, when you start moving, when you see that scale start coming down, it starts to be a rush every Saturday when you're getting on it. It
Okay.
starts to be, you feel like you're getting your life back because the truth is when you very overweight, you're depressed.
True.
I don't know if anybody's going to agree with this, but this whole little movement they got saying you being happy fat and all that little fat shame is not true. Like you're depressed. You're not happy with that. Nobody's happy with that. You don't even feel like yourself. So I was excited, man. I'm like,
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I was just interviewing my man's a couple weeks ago, last week, and he's saying the same thing,
oh, for
because
sure.
he started off 475 and he's 6'4". I was Brandon Bullock. Shout out to Brandon. 6'4", 475 pounds. And you're 300, you were say over 300. And how tall are you now?
6 foot.
6 foot. And I was over 400 and I'm 6'3". So we're all tall and we're all big men. You know what I mean? And during that time, it's just the attitude problem is up to here. You know what I mean? You're not, and you're taking it out on other things, other people, how you respond to people.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Your social interactions
Mm-hmm.
can be kind of quick and curt, because you're, what do they call that now? Projecting. You're projecting. And like, no, you're right. I stand by you in that case to where it's like, with social media, we all see it as it's like a highlight reel. Everybody's smiling and, nobody's saying that you have to be depressed because you're big, but this whole thing as if there's nothing wrong. People see us now as if we weren't that, or even to say worse, we're probably where they are. You know what I mean? So we can talk from that standpoint of it's like, nah, you ain't that. You know what I mean? And some people may, but that might be a cloak and that's fine. But in all reality is that you got to do better. And if you drop that weight, I promise you, if you say that you're happy now, you'll be happier. These are just, you know what I mean? Like everybody's I've interviewed says the same exact thing. And until somebody can really train their mind to be around that, to accept that, then people are going to keep, fronting, because there's nothing.
We live in a very soft society, and truth be told, it's hard to actually look in the mirror and tell yourself, I need to do the work. I'm a fat slob. I'm lazy. I make terrible choices, and I need to change. It's hard to really say that. Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody.
But you have to have those hard truths. You have to have those hard truths with yourself. And who else should keep it more realer with you than the person in the mirror?
If you can lie to yourself, you're a tough person. I mean, if you go, you can lie to anybody but yourself. Because when you wake up in the morning and you walk in bed, you look in the mirror, you know how you feel.
Yeah, you know how you feel. Your clothes ain't feeling right, and it's like, all right. So, what are you going to do with that information? Are you going to, put some makeup on and take an aerial selfie, and put a smile on your face with a filter on it? You know what I mean? And that's not you. You're going to keep doing that. That's really self-abuse. That's really self-abuse. That's really self-abuse. So when that weight on that scale after that 20 pounds and you started feeling those clothes loosening up, what was your workout routine while you were doing that? Because
I'm more diet than anything, because
good.
You can work out as much as you want. Because I went through that for a little while too. I'm working out very hard. And I'm just like, what the hell? And it's the kitchen, man. Like the kitchen is king. Like I don't know how to stress that more. The kitchen is king. You can do all the fancy workouts that you've seen on Instagram. Until you start acting right at home, you ain't gonna do nothing.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. I was just telling my client this same thing, similar last week. It's like, I don't really like how weight loss is being sold or projected. And it's like, okay, I'm looking for, 5 people who want to lose, 20 pounds. And it's a shot of them working out. I'm like, man, good and well, that's not how you do it. You know what I mean? Like, that ain't it. Take a shot of you teaching these people what to cook, how to cook, the calorie intake.
But most trainers have never been fat though.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
They don't even understand it mentally. So only thing they think is, let me get you in here and pound you out, and maybe that'll create discipline. Like, no, they don't know what it's like.
Yeah.
It's better to be somebody like you who actually been through it.
Yeah.
You know, that's just like me going to work at a rehab. I've never been addicted to nothing. I'm not gonna connect. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right.
because
Yeah,
food is an
1,000,000%.
addiction. They say sugar is more addictive than cocaine. That's what they say. Food
Yeah,
is
I
an
mean, it's in
addiction.
everything. It's in everything. Why,
Exactly.
we couldn't
Exactly.
stop eating just one chip.
Right.
They even
Right.
got that as
Right.
what wasn't that somebody's slogan? You can't just eat just one. You know what
Right.
I mean? And everything got, what I'm saying, sugar in
Right.
it. So yeah. So when you dropped the 20 and then you went to 50, what was that like when you lost that first 50?
Man, I was so focused. I just wanted it to keep going. I was actually, because I'm big, I love me some nice clothes. So I was already buying clothes I couldn't fit. Like I was buying smaller stuff to keep me motivated because I know I'm going to fit into this
Yeah,
eventually,
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's what
yeah,
I did. That's what I
yeah,
did to keep myself going. Once you
yeah,
start seeing your face slim up though, you kind of you ain't gonna stop, you ain't gonna
yeah,
stop.
yeah.
And
That's a good feeling too.
I got a best friend down in Dallas and he did it with me. I'm gonna connect you with him too, because he definitely
Okay.
got a deal. He
Okay. What's
lost a
that?
good 100 too. He lost a good 100 too. My best friend since like fourth grade. He had came to Peoria for my other best friend wedding, and I seen him, and I was gonna talk to him about us doing it. But before I could even get a chance to talk to him, I got a text from him, and it was like, "We need to start." I was like, "I literally meant to talk to you about this." So it was kind of crazy that he kind of sent me that anyway.
So you all kind of had a parallel path, as far as
Right.
somebody to bounce off of, almost like
Correct.
a partner. You know what I mean?
Right.
Accountability
Exactly.
partner or whatever. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
good. Yeah, that's good.
Exactly.
That's good. And how did that help you stay motivated? In addition
Yeah.
to running away from diabetes, making sure you eat right to fit into these clothes that you bought that you got to really legit fit into. You know what I mean? How did that brotherhood help
It
you
was it was
stay
good
on
to have
point?
somebody that could relate. That's the biggest thing is having somebody that could relate, because he's a person like me. He's gonna admit when he's wrong. So it was real good. We'll talk like every day, just bouncing ideas back and forth. But it wasn't just physical, it was mental too. You gotta
Yeah,
start thinking different if you want to be different.
right. So this all or nothing
Right.
mindset,
Right.
explain that and how that helped you and how it hindered you.
It hindered me for years.
Mm-hmm.
Because you would tell yourself, I'm going to the gym today. But you wind up either waking up late or you eat one bad thing and you goes, well, I've kind of already thrown the day out the window, so I might as well just, keep going to start fresh tomorrow. And then you just continue with that instead of saying, you know what, I might have ate one bad thing, but I'm still going to keep the promise I made to myself. I'm gonna go work out and I'm gonna just keep going like it didn't even happen. Once you get rid of that mindset, you're gonna be better off too, because the truth is, it's not all or nothing. Everybody make mistakes. Nobody perfect, but we see everybody on the internet. They showing they chicken and broccoli and acting like they don't slip up. It ain't real. Sometimes social media can be an enemy too, because nobody's showing the bad parts. They only showing the good parts, right? Some days you wake up and you go to the gym, you just ain't feeling it. Some days it's just I'm not feeling it. But nobody
Yeah,
showed those
man.
days.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. You're
Some
right. I
days
had
you walk in
plenty of
there, you
those
just want to
days.
walk back out like I really don't feel like dealing with this
Yeah,
no more.
like, man, why am I here? Why am I
Yeah.
here? I have those days. Just just walking downstairs to my gym in my house. I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing this, but
Mm-hmm.
it's always like what you just said. It's like, man, I got to keep going. It's the kind of
Right.
all or nothing to
Right.
almost like flip it around. It's like I've had those days where exactly like you said, where it's I'm not feeling this, and I'm like, I just come downstairs, turn the lights on, then I'm like, you know what, I ain't got no client for the next 2 hours. I'm gonna go back upstairs and lay down. When normally I spent that hour doing my morning cardio because I know
Right.
how the rest of my day goes. If I don't get that cardio first
Right.
thing in the morning,
Right.
then
Right.
that angry big guy is always lurking back there.
Always there. I tell
Oh, he
people, no
always
matter what,
lurking.
he'll always be there. I
He
promise you. I
lurking.
promise.
He lurking. He
Yeah.
waiting. He waiting. He
Yeah.
waiting. And it's like, let me get on this treadmill. Because there's been plenty of days where it's like, you know what? I worked out yesterday. I'm gonna work out tomorrow with this
Right.
person. And it's like, what about today though? What
Right.
about today? So it is easy. Even if you got to go to a gym, you know what I mean? I know how easy it is to possibly walk away, but I got a gym in my house and it's even more. So I have to be even that much more disciplined because now I live with the fact that, hey, I can just do this at any time. but anything can happen though. Anything can happen, and trying to take advantage of, your provision, your blessings, is something that I truly believe in, even when it comes to this. And since you do have, all your limbs and in your right mind, it's more advantageous for you and all of us to take advantage of that, because again, you don't want to be a homie in the wheelchair with the Ray-Bans on with his kneecaps cut off because we was eating too many donuts and couldn't stop eating chips. You know what I mean? So you dropped to 50. When you got to the 100-pound mark, what was going on in your head? Like, man, the hundo, what did that feel like?
Well, I was honestly, I was more scared than anything because, like I told you, I had always kind of lost something and gained it back. So my focus at this point was longevity. How do you keep it all? Because again, honestly, losing it isn't even the hardest battle. It's when you think you where you want to be and you that's when you really mess up. That's when you really, you see these Instagram pages where you're like, oh, wow, they lost a lot of weight, but they ain't posted in 52 weeks. Why you think that is? Because they didn't slip,
Yeah,
that's the part that, that's the one right there. Because once you get to where you want to be, now you want to start having a little bit more fun, going out a little bit more. You start doing that type of thing, and we'll always have a kind of tendency to gain weight. That's just what it is.
Yeah, for sure. You get that
genetics do play a role.
On. Yeah,
genetics play a role, but ultimately it's our choice on what we do.
100%.
But some people can get away with what we can't. That just is what it is.
And you got to live with that. And correct. I've been through that, dropping 187 pounds, putting 100 back on, dropping 60, putting 40 back on. It is a journey. You got hills and you got valleys, and you're supposed to learn from each point, each extreme point. Right. And even the in-between points, when you get up to the peak, you can look over and you're like, okay, I want to get to that other side, but I need to, go down in the valley. I need to climb down this side of the mountain and, go through that if possible, if necessary. But we all have these journeys. And like you said, it's okay. I've lived my life pretty much open in that regard. People see me down, people see me up, in regards as far as weight wise, people see me down. You know what I mean? It's a cycle. This thing is long term. It's for life. Like you said, some people can get away with eating or doing things more than we could. We do try to, and we're saying that, and you're saying that from trial and error. You know what I mean? Like we've been through it. We've been through it. So dropped the 100 pounds. And like you said, okay, now I got to figure out the longevity part and the consistency part. So from the time that you dropped the 100 pounds to in reverse to when you first started, how long did that take you to drop that 100 pounds? 6 months, 12 months, 18 months?
It was like, like a year.
Okay. Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And you would weigh in. I thought I heard you say every Saturday for you.
Yep. Every Saturday morning. Yep.
Okay.
That's what would keep me going, because I know. And then that was also a mental thing for me, because I know once I make it through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right there, I know I got a weigh in coming again. I ain't screwing that up, So it kept me going too. But everybody can't do that. Some people need to weigh like once a month. Again, you just got to know yourself. If the scale is going to be your enemy, then just stay away from it. Whatever. You just got to do what works for you. That's
you're right. You're right. Personally, I weigh every day. If not every day, maybe like every 3. And then by that third day, when I look on the scale, I'm like, now I know why I weigh every day. Because again, sometimes you're like, oh, I can get away with doing that. I can get away with doing this. And then when I weigh, that's more motivation for me to say, okay, the very next day, I got to repeat this same process minus this, or whatever this is, or what this can be in regards to far as intake, because like you said, it's like you can run till the cows come home, but if you turn around and still eat like your nutrition is not in check, then if anything, it's probably going to be more of a disadvantage to you, because now it's like you got to refuel your body from all that working out you did, and you ain't got no chill when that happens. You know what I mean? You try to justify certain things that you do eat. Now, the gym was, kind of closed, 2020. Cause I can remember that time, everybody was kind of like trying to figure out what was going on.
Right.
And then eventually
Exactly.
the gym did
Exactly.
shut down. So when the gym did open back up and you got your nutrition right, what was some of your workout routines? Were you lifting weights? Was it just cardio? Or was it a combination of both? What did you like to
I
do?
was
What
I
was
was more big on it. It was really, I want to say 60-40 weights, cardio, 40%, 60 weights. But again, I still, like I say, at that time, I didn't get my nutrition right until late 2021. You see what I'm saying? So I was working out, which did help reverse the diabetes, but the weight wasn't coming on.
I
It
got
wasn't
you.
until it wasn't until I got that part is when it started coming on.
And when your nutrition was locked in, that you feel more energy going into
Not
your
that I was eating
workouts.
bad. I wasn't eating bad. I was eating too much. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
that was the thing. Like I'm like, okay, I reversed diabetes, wanted to wait. I was just eating too much. You see what I'm saying? It's still something. It's still a such thing as too much low carb food. You can still eat too much. You still
Right,
can.
right. Now, were you tracking via like calories and macros, or how did you
Yeah,
stay?
uh,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, yeah, food scale. Okay,
yeah. But that
okay.
again, that's more advanced. Like if you just starting, you ain't got to complicate it. But yeah,
Yeah, no, like I was telling this to one of my clients. Matter of fact, she was like, I get a good amount of protein, and you hate to be a prick or try to sound like a prick, but it's like nowadays you have to ask what is enough. Like, what is your definition? What do you mean? Do
correct,
you have
right,
something with numbers wise? You know what I mean? Because
right,
it's
right,
like, no, like
exactly.
I see where that works because I've done that. Like, oh, I had just about this much, or just like, what does that mean? Do you have a number or not? You're guesstimating. Sometimes you
Exactly,
think that you got
exactly,
less when you got twice as
exactly,
much. You understand what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Right, right.
But yeah, the food scale. What did you get yours from?
Amazon, I believe.
Okay, okay. What did that run?
Walmart,
Ballpark.
Walmart.com. That's Walmart.
What was the price on that? Ballpark that.
I think it was $20.
Yeah, see, everybody listen, it's not
Yeah.
that expensive. It's not that
I mean,
expensive.
you
It can
gotta
change the game.
understand, man. Like, I understand when people say, it's hard to do, but it's like if you actually look at what people are doing as far as getting their stomach cut and all, I think that's a little hard.
Yeah,
Me personally,
yeah,
I think
yeah, for
that's a
sure.
little.
Yeah, for sure. Coming from you dropped 100 pounds naturally. I dropped over 100 pounds naturally. It was foreign to me when this weight loss surgery came in. And for a
Yeah,
while,
yeah,
honestly, no lie, I kind of looked down on those people for a minute. It took me to get older to understand and realize everybody is not in your position or was not in your position. And
mentally especially.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There was, just a different lifestyle. And I've gained more respect for those people because I know how paranoid I am. I'm not falling asleep, and I'm not for anybody cutting me open. You know what I mean? For any reason
Right.
unless it's seriously, seriously life threatening. But maybe
Correct.
that weight was life threatening to that person. You understand what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what's caused me to gain a little bit more respect than I did, when I first lost it, because I went through that, and I went through those nights where it's just like, man, I'm angry because I'm hungry, but I'm on this diet, but I want to lose this weight. You're at these, you know what I'm saying? These different things. And it's like, man,
Yeah.
somebody can just say, hey, I'm just cutting my stomach out. But then the more and more I talk to these people, it's like, no, I had to, portion out 2 ounces of stuff. And I'm like, what? I'm like, or just whatever their food process, far as for eating wise. And I'm like, you know what? You had to make your own sacrifices too. And again, just young and just looking at stuff. But I still salute anybody losing weight, but I salute those like-minded, far as like me, just like you, while you're on here, is doing it naturally. I totally believe that. I'm 110% for that. But if you feel you have to do surgery, you have to do what's best for you. I can't tell you anything, but for somebody who's done it naturally, talk to those who've done it naturally. I have a deeper respect for, because I went through
Definitely.
that. I
I
went,
wasn't
I
I
went.
wasn't speaking as far as saying I don't like it, but I was just saying like a lot of people will do that, but they'll say eating clean is crazy. I personally think that's a little crazy because again, I'm just like you. I don't want to put to sleep. I don't want you cutting on me. Like none of that. I think that's a little too far for me. So I knew my only option was to do it like this, and I just did it. I was just like whatever. You know?
Yeah, it's like, the all or nothing law, all or nothing. So what does your routine look like today in 2023 in regards to diet and working out? What does that look like for you?
Diet is still top for me. Probably like I say, the gym it isn't. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't really like. I haven't fell in love with working out just yet. I'm just gonna be honest. I
Yeah.
haven't. No, 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 no.
Okay. I got you. I got
But
you.
I
We
know
gotta
if
get
I
a session
like some
in.
people are opposite. Some people say I can go to the gym all day. But when it comes to eating clean, I just that's just not me. I'm the other way. I don't really care for it. So I'll probably hit the gym like 3 times a week. But I
Okay,
try
that's
to
still good. That's still good.
yeah,
How long are you normally there? 30
probably
minutes,
like
45?
hour. Yeah,
Okay, that's a good time.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good time. That's actually a
Yeah.
very, very, very good time. Very good time. So
That
what is
stair climber, that stair climber always gonna be a challenge though. They keep you
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
keep you
yeah,
right.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
So
a
you
treadmill person at all.
okay. Okay. So you more stair climber. How long
I
you on
love the
there?
stair climber. Yeah. I try to do like 25, 20 to 30. Let's just call it 20 to 30.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good range. Yeah, some days like now I'm gonna knock out 20. Then it's like
And I got a
I've had on
dog. I
30
walk
minute
him like
days.
5 times a day. So I'm always
Oh,
moving.
okay. Okay. So you're
Yeah.
always moving. You're always
Yeah.
active. Okay.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
when you're on the stair climber, what's your cycle? Do you have a speed? Are you on like intervals or do you
Yeah,
do like
I try to turn it up to 10 to 12 for like a minute and then take like a 2 minute rest and then back to 10 to 12. It get your
oh
heart
yeah.
racing.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would do 1 minute on 5 speed, level 5, and then 1 minute on 10, and then drop back
Hmm.
down. Just keep cycling that for 20
Yeah.
minutes. If the music
Yeah.
is good and I got enough
Exactly.
energy, I might get a little froggy, jump up to 11.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
You ever
might
try
jump up
to
to
take your
11.
hands off if you take your hands off
Yeah.
the rug, make it way tougher.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man, it make it
Oh,
way
yeah.
tougher.
Just even at 5, even I can't see. I
Yeah,
see some people do it
exactly.
at like
Exactly.
8 or 9 or 10. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
whole other different level. I'm not there
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah,
Salute
definitely.
you, salute you. What major lesson did you learn from your weight loss after losing weight that you learned about yourself that you can share with others who may be on the fence about starting their weight loss journey? What can what can you do or what can you tell them to inspire them to start?
As far as telling them to start, just starts today. Tomorrow ain't coming. Like we always, I'm starting tomorrow. Like, just do it. Like because I done been that person that's been saying like right now, this part of the year where it's about to get cold, I would tell myself by the time it get hot outside, I'm gonna be looking good. And then next thing you know, I slack and it gets hot. It's March. I'm seeing everybody washing their car, and here I am embarrassed behind tent, not wanting to show myself because I'm just like, man, damn, depressed, all that. So just start today. And again, you don't have to do anything major. Make small changes. Sometimes we try to make changes that's too big, and we just fall off because we try to change everything at once. Small changes, and small wins add up, you know. As long as the scale is moving, you doing something. As long as you getting up moving, you doing something. I took it from like a health standpoint. Once you get your body healthy and you start giving it the right things, the weight is gonna come off. It has no choice. But you got to get your nutrition right. That bad food always gonna be there. It's always gonna be there. But I think the biggest thing again is knowing yourself. You have to know where you're strong at, but also know where you're weak at. If you know that you don't have any portion control like myself, just don't buy it. And I literally have a son, and I don't think he cares too much for my kitchen because he don't get a lot of stuff here. You got to eat like me when you're over here. So just be real with yourself. That's the biggest. If you know you're strong in that area, focus more on that area. If you know you weak, slowly focus in that area. Like I say, I just don't bring certain stuff in here because I can't. I can't have oatmeal cream pies in my cabinet. I'm going to eat them. Like I don't really know. I'm a sugar addict. I love sugar, so I don't buy it. I
Right.
don't buy it. And a
Can't
lot
bring
of
the drugs
times,
in the house.
and a lot of times, you just need to, when you get in the mood to eat this stuff, think: Are you bored? Are you thirsty? Are you frustrated? Like, just pay attention to your mood as well. You know,
Yeah,
pay
that does have
attention
a
to
lot to
your
do with
mood.
it. It's like I know I can be an emotional eater. It's like, am I in my
Right,
feelings right now? Do I
right,
just,
right,
want some chocolate? Am
right,
I just around not the best influences? Am I
right.
socially eating? because, this person may be going through something. I'll just socially eat from their emotional standpoint, or now that I'm looking because they're going through something, that'll just be my excuse when I'm not even feeling like that. It's just giving me an excuse to eat with them, all those things. So that's important.
It's really mental. Once you get the mental part down, you on the right track. It's a lot mental, actually.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Let everybody know where they can reach you at if they want to contact you in regards to maybe getting some help or getting that book that you want to give away.
I'm always down to help. I'm not one of them people who lose weight and act brand new. Because I know how it feels. Trust me, I'm always down to help. Facebook is JAYYFORD. I honestly cannot think of mine. It's just like _J_309, I believe, something like that. I think that's my Instagram.
Okay. Cool beans. I'll have all that information in the description. And this brings us to the end of another episode of the Success Fitness Podcast. If you found inspiration in today's podcast and would like to support, then sign up to my weekly newsletter, the Success Fitness Newsletter. You'll get access to my new ebook, How Many Calories Should I Eat? It's a guide with resources within to find your daily caloric intake to ensure success in reaching your fitness goals. You'll also get access to my private Facebook community, Success Fitness Family, and weekly emails when this podcast publishes every Sunday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. The link to the sign up to the Success Fitness Newsletter will be in the description. Thank you for listening to the Success Fitness Podcast. Thank you, Jay, for appearing on the Success Fitness Podcast. And remember, if it's not making you stronger, simply chant more weight, more weight, more weight. Peace out.